The possibility space of an average Commander game is so large that it's no surprise that some of them last hours. But that doesn't mean people want 3-hour games. With the dreaded 5-player Commander game always being memed on, the 4-player game can also get to that length of 2+ hours. So in today's video, I wanted to tackle such topic. How do we go about reducing our Commander game length? And what are some active decisions we could be making pre, during, and post that could help us make better decisions in terms of our use of time? If it wasn't clear, I love framing my videos around random Reddit posts. Now, it's really not about the post itself, and full transparency, I did change the title of this through some type of inspect elements for the thumbnail, but we're going to use this for framing, okay? First, let's clarify long because the power keeps shifting from one player to another, not because all 4 players are playing landfall stacks for 20 minutes, 20-minute turns and no win cons or something. It's very eventful game. So they're talking about, liking long games. We're all playing decks we like. One person is a major early threat, then another takes over, then another. It's storied and lasts like 3 hours. Immediate concern here. I don't believe a game should last 3 hours if this happens. This is wrought, in my mind, full of people checking their phones, ahs, someone taking a poop for like an hour, too many distractions. I do not believe a normal game of Commander that is storied and advances should take 3 hours. There is something fundamentally going wrong here. Someone or some people are inexperienced with their strategy, making imperfect decisions. And honestly, both of those are fine. It just doesn't lead to a good game experience. You can be inexperienced in your deck and not know how to play it and take time to pilot it. That doesn't mean the other people in that game are going to enjoy that game, right? It's not your fault. I'm not blaming that person that doesn't know how to play that deck. It can also be true that the other people aren't going to enjoy play with you. I think there's something wrong here, but we're going to see in a second how this is a unique experience for OP that we're going to kind of frame in a second here. I asked because one of those games per night is a dream for me, like a 6-hour game night in total. Not that it's a 6-hour game. Those are games I remember most fondly, and I had plenty of mental stamina for it. Okay, so already caveat someone that's maybe a bit more locked in. But I seem to be the only one of the people I know. The people I play with the most tend to have been playing a lot longer than me, much better players than I am, more involved in local MTG communities, and probably love the game even more than I do. Once a game goes longer than an hour, they start to get really miserable and look like they'd rather be anywhere else. Same with big MTG creators. I'm a huge fan of Commander at Home Crew. They all very actively seem to hate it if a game goes longer than 85 minutes. So like an hour and a half, roughly, hour 25. Some, though, for them, I imagine they work in exhausting filming blocks. I'm neurodivergent and I'm like, ooh, more time to play the game I love, yay. So I'm just more curious where others land on this. So we're in a very unique situation where someone is neurodivergent and more focused in on the game. They might have an hyperfixation of this and are very locked into maybe an activity that they're doing. So this is a unique situation for them. Where I relate is to the other people who, as they mentioned, may like Magic more than them, but have more experience and have seen the other side of this. So once you experience shorter games where things still do advance and still things are progressing, and heck, you might even experience CDH games. When you experience the true possibility space of everything that can happen in an average Commander game, you don't want a 3-hour game. Because you start immediately pointing out the flaws. You're like, okay, you know what? Can you speed this up? You're taking too long to think through your turn. Have you played this deck before? Okay, let's just make snappier decisions here. You're saying, hold on, let me respond to something. Do you have the counterspell or not? We are not waiting for you. If I play against a blue player and they spend 20 seconds responding to, like 10 to 20 seconds responding to every spell, thinking, and then ultimately are like, oh, I'm not going to counter it. I'm either not playing with you or I don't care. I don't care. If you take more than 5 seconds to think, is this winning or not? Do you have it or not? Doesn't matter. I'm resolving it, right? At some point, the game needs to progress because the other players, yes, are in there for a 6-hour game night, right? But they also did not sign up for the contract of 1 3-hour game. They are signing up for a couple of games, maybe playing through a couple of commanders, and they have played through presumably a little bit of their deck. A great long game every so often is fine, but I truly, with my biases, do not believe a group of experienced players will actually take that long to finish a game, because that tells me something either went wrong before in deck construction or during the game in terms of, bad plays, too long to make decisions, decision paralysis, and post in terms of having conversations about why we should never do that again, right? Like what went wrong that game. And a lot of that can be mitigated. But today I wanted to talk about 3 in-game, during the game decisions that we could be making to improve our games. Now, again, highlighting and using this as framework, this is a unique situation. This isn't anything against OP. They clearly highlighted a unique scenario where they are in love with this and want to understand why other people don't, right? And again, I think largely it comes down to bad gameplay patterns, bad gameplay decisions and or deck building decisions that lead to this. People that don't make concise strategies, they maybe build hyper synergy. So for example, you might be playing a commander that cares about face down cards. You build a bunch of cards, you put a bunch of cards in there that like work well face down. The problem is that if those cards don't necessarily synergize with each other or come together to a win condition, that you're not actually playing a concise deck. You're just playing some type of face down type. Those type of decks are fine if you want to build them. There's a reason it's taking forever, because your one face down card is making a 2/2. Oh yeah, it costs 2 less to make. Oh, I'm making a 2/2 for almost free. And this one destroys an enchantment, maybe if I meet this condition, but it's face down. So it's like do yourself a favor, build a better deck. Just build a better deck depending on the bracket you're in. You're playing like a bracket 2 type of situation, maybe low bracket 3. Okay, something like that's fine. But if your complaint is that your games are going too long, you can make active decisions in making that better. Okay, and so that was just a specific example. But really, the first one I want to talk about is playing more combo. Okay, we need to do better as a commander society in making sure 2-card combos are more acceptable. Okay, and yeah, bracket 3, we allow for late game 2-card combos, but of course you can have the rule 0 and kind of identify and change around that and everything. Tendrils of Agony I'm using very specifically because it doesn't say each player, it says target player. It can be relatively hard to actually make Storm work in Commander. It's not that it's not possible, it is, but again, Tendril specifically says target player. I don't want to bring the whole Thassa's Oracle thing up here, but you can do that. 2-card combos as instant wins, outs in the game, alongside like tutors and stuff, add that consistency to your deck so that if you are playing some type of deck that is value oriented, right, plays face down cards, like once you get a certain number of them out, if you're not winning with like an overrun effect or some card that says every time you flip up a creature you deal 1 damage to everything, like if you don't have actual win conditions, introduce 2-card combos, 3-card combos, even combos with your commander. If your commander is an infinite mana sink, add infinite mana combos so you can do something with your mana. Get a forward direction going. This comes from the deck building side of things. Add more combos to your deck so that you have something to look for. If you have a bunch of draw engines in your deck, if you have a bunch of tutors in your deck, if you're creating a lot of value and you're creating a bunch of Pillow 40 type of things, and you're mad that a board wipe wiped you out, then you shouldn't be upset if you have a combo in your deck because you were working with something. But when it comes to board wipes, the next thing is an in-game decision of not only, maybe playing less board wipes, but also actually casting less board wipes. This is one of my number 1 pet peeves. It has happened to me very rarely, but it happens. If you, as a player, cast a board wipe, if you cast that board wipe and do not proceed to create some type of immediate and or soon after game winning advantage, don't cast that board wipe. Don't do it. If you are board wiping for the sake of clearing the board and resetting the game after an hour of this game going on, don't cast the board wipe. And I've done it plenty of times. Because again, assuming all things are even, 25% of the time you'll win the game, just reset and go to the next one. If you're behind, reset and go to the next one. 2-3 board wipes have already been cast. If you are casting a 4th board wipe, don't do it. It's not worth it. Don't do it. If you're Child of Alara board wipe typo, I already probably don't want to play with you anyway. But just don't cast the board wipe if it doesn't give you an advantage. If you cast the board wipe and maybe, for example, I bring up Forwell because it's a high salty card, but if you have a board wipe, maybe like Cyclonic Rift or a Wrath of God, but then all your creatures are indestructible, fantastic. That's a great board wipe because you are making it one-sided. That is a fantastic decision. You should make that decision. But if you're board wiping, if you cast Farewell oh my God, if you are in a game with me and you cast Farewell, you choose all modes and you are equally hurt by this, I'm leaving the game. I'm leaving. I don't know what you're doing. If it's the fourth time, if it's the third time that a Farewell has resolved and everyone is equally hurt by it, I'm calling it quits. There's no way we are making this decision, right? All modes, right? That means like, it's not that one board wipe happened and someone still had, no, I'm saying all modes. Like if a Farewell has resolved like 2-3 times, we need to call it quits, right? So we need to make sure that the board wipes we're casting late. So early, let me make the distinction here. Early game, mid game, okay, you know, maybe a tokens player got a little too out of hand. Maybe you're trying to board wipe a bunch of the artifacts. You cast your, you know, overloaded, forgetting the red card. Someone in the comments will let you know it's 1 red and you overloaded, destroy all artifacts you don't control or whatever, destroy all artifacts. But if you cast that, great. Early game, slow someone down, you know, gives you time to develop. But in the late game, if the game's going on for too long, you want games to shorten, you don't want to play long games of Commander, stop casting late game board wipes that do not give you an advantage. Stop casting it just to slow someone down. Let them have it. Just let them have it. I promise you, you will start a new game, your mental refreshes, you play a new deck, you just go about it. You go about, you start again. Maybe you even started this game with a bad hand, you say, hey, I want to run it back with this deck. Just go next. GG, go next. You need to know when to cut your losses. Now, with the final thing that we can do to shorten our games of Commander is attacking more. Oh my God, what a revelation. So many games I have played with, and it's like a 2-part thing. One of the 2 parts is a pet peeve of mine. People that roll dice to attack. Just pick, make an excuse and pick. You know, when I join someone on stream, I say, hey, you're the host of this stream, I'm attacking you. You know, hey, I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of that commander, or I have someone in my play group that does really well with it. This is for them. I'm attacking you, right? I'm hitting you with the first swing. You got a mana dork on turn 1, go to turn 2, play a land. You don't have a 3-drop. You don't have something relevant to cast, which is surprising, but okay, fine. You don't have nothing to do. Attack with the mana dork. Just don't hold it up. Have the attacks go in, because you would not believe the amount of games where a mentality around casting a spell or not, or making a certain move, can change based on someone being at 20 life versus 30 life. Because 20 life is a lot easier to bring someone down, because then you can maybe trample over top, get someone low, then look to someone else and be like, hey, that gutter snipe of yours, if you cast 1 or 2 spells, I can get them really low. Let me see if you can finish them. But if they're at like 30 life, I can maybe do 10 damage. They're at 20, that gutter snipe's not finishing them. If they're at 20, I can do, you know, 10, 11 damage. All of a sudden they're at 9. They can't use that fetch land that they have, whatever. You use your gutter snipe, you win from there. You're some type of, you know, spell, like especially with the new Final Fantasy, like the mage tokens that you create every time you cast an all-creature spell, deal 1 damage. Like if you're a type of deck like that, okay, once we start paying people down, once we start getting people down, that's when we can try and win the game. At the end of the day, combat is very relevant in a game of Commander, especially with combos as well. There's a lot of infinite damage combos out there. There's a lot of ways through infinite turns and infinite combats to get there. That's why I brought up aggravated assault. Go to combat more often to make something like this achievable. Even if it is a value aggravated assault, that could be the thing that ends the game. Attack more early, make active decisions about who you're attacking, and be intentful. Like some people are too passive. They're trying to be too nice. Oh, I don't want to make anyone mad. Grow up, just attack someone, right? We're all adults here in some way, shape, or form. Sometimes we're not, right? And those are, you know, maybe unique situations where, yeah, okay, I'm not going to force whoever to make attacks on whatever. But if you have the ability to attack, you know in your mind, you are comfortable with the decision to attack. But then you make that decision like, oh, I'm going to play sleuthy here. Grow up. Come on. Just attack. Just attack someone. And also, as I mentioned, do not roll a dice. Do not piss me off. Do not roll a dice to choose who to attack. Please just make a decision. Right? And this is my real life pet peeve. Y'all ever know the person in your life that is like, oh, you know, anything you want to do? No, I hate that. I immediately tune myself out. I had this is a small life rant. I had this moment in my life a couple years ago, told my wife I'm never doing this again, right? And this wasn't necessarily to do with her, but she was there to witness it. And it was like a friend of hers and their wife, and we were picking something to bring to a party. And they're like, oh yeah, pick anything, right? Because they're gonna help split it. It's the 4th, so they're gonna help split it. was like, okay, well, you know, we're going through a bunch of decisions. You guys keep saying whatever we pick, you know, you guys are kind of picky. This is like, you know, the place that we're going to is like, they know. So I'm like, okay, you know them, like, what can we get? We're happy to split. And they're like, oh, anything you want. So I pick something. And like, oh, not that. Didn't you say anything? Okay. All right, well, this food is like this, so let's get something opposite. You said, no, let's do this. I don't know if that's really that good. Immediately tuned out. When I tell you the rage boiled in my head, do not tell me that it's anything you want, and then give me a look and or say, not that. Pisses me off to all heck. Because why would you say that? Why would you say it's anything you want and then not, and just tell me, no, not that? I hate that. No, I don't care. I don't care. You need, if that is a mental block or some type of, don't make up some garbage excuse. Don't make up some you're a crappy person that can't make good decisions. You are too afraid to make your own decision. That's your fault. I'm gonna get mad at you. That is a active decision you're making. Okay? Look, it's the same thing as rolling dice. Let's be mature and just attack. Okay? Because if we're all mature here at the table, these people aren't gonna take it game to game. Okay, if you're worried about someone taking it game to game, voice that concern. Be like, I think this person, based on how I played with them before, is gonna take this game to game. I'm not gonna attack. If you tell me that, I'm like, hey, yo, why are you gonna take a game to game? I'm gonna look at that person and be like, you're gonna take this game to game? Because I want them to attack. I want them to advance this game. What's the problem? You know, I think we can all do a little bit better with making decisions in our games to get what we want and be while being reasonable with other people. Because at some point we have to put the onus on other people, right? When they get salty in the game, it's not how should I have improved that? Because yeah, there is room for you to improve. Maybe, you know, how you spoke and all this stuff, but it takes two to tango. There's blame on their side as well. Let's be honest with how we're interacting, okay? So a little bit of a rant there at the end, but I hope I got my point across. You know, again, I'm no 3/3 elk, salubrious snail, trinket mage type of juice here. I don't have the suave script and everything, but hopefully these 3 tips and tools can help you shorten some of your commander games, okay? Make more active decisions in terms of attacking and attack more often. Don't cast these late game board wipes that don't give you an advantage, and also just play more combos, play more game enders. Don't build up these pillow fort decks that just take forever to get going and are just you spinning your wheels and having fun and honestly just playing with yourself, okay? Let's do a little bit less of that, and let's focus more on just honestly playing more Magic on average.